This video is about refinishing Singer cabinet number 248, which came with the Singer 301A. I have more than enough tools to do the job. Here is a retractable scraper. Picked that up today. And the retractable is really straightforward. It just has that little lever, thumb lever there, and you're able to retract it and extend it. And it worked quite well. It is a fairly narrow swath, or fairly narrow range. The horror story was this one, although it looks like it would be a good tool, it wasn't. Watch out for falling parts. So there's the packaging. That comes with two plastic covers on the blade, the working end of the blade. Look at that, easy as pie. Huh? I had done up there, so now I'm going to do from here and down. Well, that's noisy. This is my favorite scraper. I like everything about this scraper. I like the size. I like that the handle is really secure. It feels really firm. I say this is my go-to now, at least for the time being, at least on this little project. Maybe that'll change if I end up doing one of the larger tables. Okay, let's see how this goes. And we can see that it is scraping the surface debris. Please subscribe. It helps. Thank you. Here we go. I've got a soft brass bristle brush. And before I do any washing or go any further, I wanted to take this and check out that spot right there. That'll be good for getting right down into all those little cracks and crevices. Oh yeah, that's taking stuff off, that's for sure. Here we can see the new veneer that I used contact cement and a heavy weight to install that. This is the sanding block, and this is the original sandpaper that came with the block. It's 150, which I thought was, I didn't think it was that high. I thought it was less than that. I thought it was coarser than that. And even this stuff that I got at the store the other day is only 120. But I'm going to go through the process of doing the 120. I still have to get some pre-treatment liquid to put on here before I stain it. And like I mentioned before, probably staining is a new process for me. I'm really enjoying this project, and so I'm going to sand with the 120 for now, and see what that comes out like. And it's supposed to go with the grain, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm not going to go in circles like I just did. So I'm just going to go with the grain and do it correctly. That's the advice that I was able to get. So once the sanding is finished, then it's a matter of cleaning the wood and then putting the pre-treatment liquid on and then staining it. I have at least 3 other pieces of furniture, like desks. Okay, here's a somewhat moist cloth, shop towel. Yeah, it's definitely picking up some sawdust. I was able to get some more sandpaper, very fine, finishing. 220 grit, 320 grit, 400 grit. And I was also able to get some of this pre-stained wood conditioner. This is oil-based for the oil-based Varathane I have already purchased. And it does come water-based, but this is what I'm going to be using to varnish it when all is said and done. 1000 semi-gloss oil-based clear finish, fast drying, 1-day professional results. So there's a lot there, but I have a few desks and tables to do as previously mentioned. So here they give us some sanding tips. Number 1 says always sand with the grain in straight, smooth strides. Number 2 is to get a Norton rubber sanding block. And number 3 says to increase sheet flexibility, post sheet grain side up over a sharp edge. Okay. Number 4, this is handy. Fold the sheet over a chisel edge to sand into grooves or carvings. So there's some handy sanding tips there from the folks at Norton. This is an educational channel. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm totally self-funded, and so that's what we got here. We're getting this. I'm going to get started on this 220 and give it a sand with that. Where does it say that? There it says 220 right there. Okay, so just smooth strokes with the grain. Well, it is taking that yellow sheen. It's taking the varnish off, whatever was on there, the stain or the varnish or whatever. So that's working well. And this is the 220. And you can still see dust coming off there after vacuuming. I mean, it's really fine dust. It certainly is. I got the shop towel and I put some water on it a little bit. And we'll just damp wipe this. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says in there somewhere to apply it cross grain. So you apply it cross grain until it is sitting on top of the wood, and then once you've applied it all and it's sitting on top of the wood, then you remove it with the cloth or whatever with the grain. So this is the one exception to always going with the grain that I've come across so far. It also said to stir it. It said not to shake it, but to stir it. So, and I don't have the correct bit in here yet. Where is it? No. Yeah. And we'll go with that one. That should do the job, is it? I think it is. So I've got the little stir stick there to do the stirring with. Like that. And then it says to put it on cross grain. So what I've got here is 2 shop towels put together. How are we doing? Are we filming here? I think we are. I guess my fingers are going to get messy. Now this is the pre-treatment stuff, right? Right. And you can see I'm dabbing it as well. And I'm being generous because there's going to be blotches anyway, because I haven't entirely sanded all the old finish off, I've come to realize. Now I'm supposed to be going cross grain, I was going with the grain. But along the edges, I kind of got to go with the grain too, I think. Hey. There, and that's really wet. So it has come loose there. So what I'm going to do is just cut it back as far as I think that it has come loose. And just take that piece right out, like that. There, so that resolves that. That's going to get stained. There'll be a discoloration there. This is not going to be a fine furniture making tutorial or fine furniture finishing tutorial. It's me learning how to stain. I don't think I've ever stained anything before, so, you know, yeah, I am having fun and I am learning. And I hope you guys are too. You guys and gals are too. Okay, I'm ready to get the lid off here. Off the stain. And we did not shake it, as advised. There, that's off. And this is what I'm using to stir it with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that has been stirred, not shaken. I'm going to move that screwdriver out of the way and move the lid out of the way. And then I have a brush. Do I want that wider brush? Or do I want that wider brush? Maybe I will use the wider one. And I have to apply it with the grain. And it says to be generous. Put enough on that it really soaks it and it allows it to soak in. Allows it to soak in. So I am putting it on what I think is pretty generously. And then I have to wipe it off. Like I'm going to use the blue shop towels to wipe it off. And then I have to wait at least 4 hours before I put another coat or anything else on here. But I'll be leaving it overnight because this is all I'm doing for tonight. And the reason I guess you don't shake it instead of stirring it is because you don't want any bubbles to occur. I think that's good enough. So that's pretty much it until, well, I'm going to wait 5 minutes and then rub the excess off. There's a fair bit. I can see that it's pooled on top, and I guess that's what you want. Okay, time's up. Now it's time to clean it off. Going with the grain. See, we're getting some residue off there. And again, going with the grain. Well, if nothing else, it's really clean. I'm almost at the end of this sewing cabinet adventure for the 301A, and next time we'll put the top back on the sewing machine case and get everything ready for the sewing machine to be reinstalled. So looking forward to that. Thanks for viewing. Please do subscribe. Your help is really appreciated. Stay safe, have fun. Adios, amigos.